Willkommen bei KVK Racing Network zu einem weiteren Rennen in der Sonntagnacht Skippy Liga. Ja, Racing-Fans, wir sind in Deutschland. Heute fahren wir 45 Minuten auf den Nurburgring. Mein Name ist Pim Lutz und mein Co-Kommentator ist Peter Lee. Peter, willkommen.
Vielen Dank, Pim. Ich bin aufgeregt.
Oh wow, I didn't expect that one.
In English, thanks, Pim. I'm really excited.
Yeah, this is an awesome for me. It's a little bit of a homecoming on this track. I know this track quite a lot. I've seen a lot in Formula One, and I think it's a great way to see all these skips coming up here. We're here in Formula 2 for our first session. Do we already see something going on? I see that we're already 2 minutes and 30 seconds in our qualification.
Well, I think all of the drivers are just completing their outlaps for this 10-minute qualification session, and so they're all just starting their first flying laps. It's a pretty long course, about 3.2 miles and 16 turns. It's a serious Formula One Grand Prix course. Really just wonderful to drive on.
Yeah, we're driving currently along with Alex Alton. What can you say about the track that he's driving on currently?
Well, he's just on his first flying lap, and he's just rounding turn 4. As he comes down here, he comes around the Ford curve, and this Ford curve, downshift to third gear, and you just get on the gas really early, right there, and then down the hill, down to second gear, and around down this long hill to the first of several hairpins, which is the I think the turn number 8, the Dunlop Hairpin. This one you'll see there's really nice camber on the inside. You just need to hit that inside and power out to get back up the hill. Maybe some of the most famous curves in all of Formula One racing right here, the Schumacher S's in the Skippy. These are flat out all the way up the hill in fourth gear. And then a really tricky left-hander, super fast, third gear. Right there, that takes you a little bit wide. And then another super fast Bilstein curve to take you back down the hill. And now this is what you would consider the back straight. As you're coming down, this little kink here is really nothing for the Skippy. And so it's really one long straight, and one of the most important and riskiest passing zones is right here as people go from fifth gear all the way down to first gear for this tight chicane. And I expect we're going to see a lot of action right there. And then finally, the turn 16 Coca-Cola hairpin that gets you onto the front straight. So just beautiful course. I think all of these guys are lapping within about a second and a half of each other. It's really all going to be about racecraft.
Well, it looks an amazing track, especially when you look at so far from ahead. We will see a lot of cars. You will get a lot of value for your money when you're sitting over there as a visitor, because you have definitely many chances to see them from every direction. It's a nice track.
Well, I think Chris Morrill will be joining the broadcast soon, but as he was remarking, this track is not too far away. It's a pretty short drive from Spa. And so, there may be fans that have made the virtual drive down to watch this race.
So we currently see Alan Paris with a 2:28 on the first position. That's quite a quick time for now.
Yeah, it's on cold tires. That's really great. The drivers do get 10 minutes in this qualification session, so if they hit everything right, they might be able to complete 3 full flying laps. And the way the Skippy works, as the tires warm up, you can really get a lot more speed, and so people might be able to get into the 219s to nab the pole position. So Pim, you're kind of a fan for these big Formula One tracks, and one of the cool things about Sunday Night Skippy is, and for the Skip Barber Formula 2000 and iRacing is, we race on club tracks, little club tracks like Summit Point or Oran Park, but we also race on these grand Formula One tracks. Do you have a favorite out of these?
Are you asking me as a driver or are you asking me as a broadcast?
Well, how about both?
I think it suits a little bit better those smaller tracks for the skip. I think these ones are a lot of big ones, but for me it's the nostalgia of these tracks. I was watching these ones when I was a little kid, the Formula One, and then to see that, and especially as a broadcaster, I think it's great to see these tracks, and I'm happy that we drive on these tracks.
Yeah, it's for me, I think as a driver, I struggle against the top tier competition in Sunday Night Skippy because these tracks are all about speed. They're so wide, and in the Skippy, they're fairly safe and relatively, I don't want to say easy exactly, because they're not easy, but they're not dangerous tracks in the Skip Barber Formula 2000 car, the way that, say, Oran Park is. But that means that, just losing that half a tenth here or there to the real kind of professionals in Sunday Night Skippy is, really adds up over the course of a race.
Yeah, so how much do you think the difference will be between number 1 and number 30 in Formula 1? What is your expectation of that?
Well, in the Wednesday and Friday night practice races in the league, we're seeing the very top guys get into the low 218s and even a couple in the high 217s for lap times.
Oh.
But I would say that the bulk, maybe the median lap times were in the mid 219s once tires were up to temperature. And so I think things will be fairly tight in terms of qualifying times, just because the tire temperatures don't, have time to get up. But during the race, we'll see 2 or 3 second gaps in lap times between, say, the top 5 drivers and the bottom 10 drivers, and so it's it's really par for the course on these grand Formula One tracks.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that, maybe it's a good way to have a quick look at the standings currently. We see that Carter Stickney is still ahead, and he's still not here. I missed him for a couple of weeks. Do you know? Do we have any updates about Carter?
Well, I believe he has a family affair or a wedding that is taking him away this weekend and again next weekend. And so he's actually done for the season, which really just puts the season championship up for grabs for Alan Paris, Jake Gaucher, Rusty Pontenberg. I think even Chris Daniel mathematically has a shot at it.
Oh wow, this is going to be very interesting to see then. I'm really curious because in those standings you could clearly see that he has a big lead. But so we really have to look out for Alan Paris, Jake Gaucher, and even Rusty Punterberg is still up there for grabs.
Yeah, it's it's really just with this race and Long Beach next week, and we know just anything can happen at Long Beach. It'll be really, really hard to know what's going to happen.
I'll be honest with you, I'm very, very, very tempted to give it a try. I love Long Beach.
Oh yeah, you and me both. We have great memories there, and so I'm looking forward to it. Looks like the cars are grading up.
Yeah, we have them nearly all up here. We're waiting for Scott Allen and then Pekowski. Joe Zubo is just arrived. So yeah, quite a nice track, a nice pack. We have 12 people.
Yep. Now, one thing about this start, the 2 prime passing zones are the hairpin turn 1, which is at the end of this front straight, and then the end of the back straight, turn 14, which is the chicane. But that makes this start really treacherous. So we'll want to watch to see how carefully these cars are navigating this very first.
Yeah, and how,
hairpin turn.
oh, here we are. The lights are going on. We see this is always that tension moment. How did he get away? Everybody gets away quite fine. And I recognize the Google car from Oliver Hartley is riding over there as well. Great to see him back on the track.
Great to see him mended from his injury, from his broken arm, and back in the saddle. Looks like everyone managed to get around turn one safely, and they're forming up single file, which is great.
Yeah, although I do see some people moving a little bit. So that's I'm curious how long they can continue this. Oh, and we see a slip from Scott Allen.
Yep, he avoided contact.
Oh, and Jake goes really hard into there,
Yeah.
and that.
And Daniel Pagowski as well.
Oh, well, that was a quick race. Let's have a quick look.
Looks like Jake has damaged his left rear wheel and will have to tow. Daniel's back on track.
Yeah, Jake was slipping there himself, and oh, he gets then hit by Pagowski on the back. Beautiful paint, but this is not how you want to start a race.
Yeah, and boy, Pim, just as we were talking about the season standings, that's huge.
Yeah, because suddenly we have Alan Paris on that second position running towards Chris Daniel. He can make some really good points over
Scott
here.
Allen, I believe Scott Allen has had an off track, and he doesn't appear to be damaged, but trying to get back on. And that turn 11 where he spun again on cold tires, that's it's really fast, fairly tricky. Once tires warmed up, it's not too hard, but on cold tires it can get you. Oh, and looks like we have another Michael Schmidt.
Yeah, and I see that Russell Gander has an issue with that as well. Let's have a quick look what happened, because they were driving really close together. And over here you see that Russell goes off track and misses, and then fully hits Michael Schmidt over there. Michael Schmidt couldn't hold that at all. So they're both in the pits as well.
Yes. Boy, there's quite a bit of carnage for this first lap.
Yeah, and it also means that it's going to be an interesting race on the back with Dan Pagowski, Jake Ashe, Russell Gander and Michael Schmidt in the pit. Maybe they can work together.
Yep. Daniel Pagowski is in the pits under his own power, avoiding a tow, so he'll get a fast repair and come back out and stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, and we're driving here.
I wasn't sure where to jump in. There's been a lot of action going on so far. I just want to let you all know I was here, and holy cow! Just it looks like a lot of maybe cold tire action. There just wasn't. I mean, it's not the normal nose to tail stuff that you'd expect to see. Just cars getting loose and unfortunately collecting other competitors along the way.
No, absolutely. I think it is entirely cold tires, Chris. I think you're right on that, because people have been keeping it pretty clean. They're not running into each other, nose to tail. It's just someone getting caught out and someone gets a little sideways.
Well, in the meantime, let's not lose sight of the fact that we've got a great battle here for the podium. Currently, Chris Daniel leading the race, leading the charge, 0.6 seconds. That gap is closing here with Alan Paris and Alex Othon firmly in his draft. So these three, and actually, if I back that up a little bit more, we could probably include Oliver Hartley in that conversation. He is about a second back from Alex Othon. And this is going to be really interesting moving forward there. You can see Hartley really driving it into that corner to try to make up this time, and we've missed him. Glad he's back and driving with us once again, and I think he's looking to mix it up already.
Yeah, isn't that awesome to see Oliver Hartley back on track? And just for the record, he did not break his arm while sim racing.
That's the story, at least.
That's the story.
So, guys, how much time do you think Chris Daniels spent in practicing the pit entry? I'm not sure, Chris, if you have got that, but the last 2 races he got really unfortunately in there and lost both of the races in there.
I would never miss a Skippy Formula 2 broadcast, just for the record. But yeah, I think that's what kind of separates this league from, I mean, obviously the public races, but having that pit stop, not just the fuel strategy, but the execution of a pit stop is something that you just, at least, and if you're racing the Skippy normally, just in iRacing, that's just not something that you're practicing or doing. So I think that's kind of eye-opening for a lot of folks when they come and join the league. So yeah, I think at some point everybody says, okay, you know what, maybe we need to set aside a good half hour and practice this entry, exit, all that stuff.
Yeah. By the way, while you were talking, Chris, as leaders were coming into turn 1, Alex Othon and Alan Paris touched wheels. Alex Othon's right front wheel touched Alan Paris's left rear. Neither one are worse for wear, but it just kind of shows how close that these guys are staying to each other.
Yeah, really testing the strength of those street radials there. I mean, I don't see any damage on, but yeah, it was a really good contact all in all. Looks like Chris Daniels able to stretch out the lead just a little bit, back up to about a second now, but all 4 of those, I guess, for all intents and purposes, kind of under a blanket, maybe a large blanket, maybe like one you take on a picnic or something like that, sit on with the family. But
a Formula 1 Grand Prix size blanket.
That exactly. But either way, yeah, Joe, and so a little bit further back through the field here, after a little early race, misfortune, I guess would be the right word. Joe Zubovich, Rich Butler, having themselves a really good battle back here. These guys have had a very low gap the entire time that I've been watching them. So keep your eye on that battle. Rich Butler looks like he's going to try for the pass.
And that is one of the prime spots for sure.
Look at them making you a truth teller there, man. Yeah, I heard you talking about how that exact turn is going to be one of the main spots. But look at Joe Zubovich battling back on the inside. Of course, Rich Butler's gonna. But I was gonna say he's gonna have the preferred inside there. But yeah, Joe able to make that work for him. A good run off there of turn, I guess that'd be 4. That is really good stuff right there. Watching these guys, holy cow.
Yeah, and then as they come down to this Dunlop Hairpin, when they get around to the back here, they'll get eventually to this back straight, and if I had to guess, Rich Butler, if he's close enough, might make another attempt at a pass coming into the chicane. Well, it does look like Joe Zubo has managed to build up a little bit of a gap. That'll help him.
Hey guys, and what about the fight from number 3, Oliver Hartley with Alex Olton? Oliver has taken a position over there.
Wow. Just Oliver, he's got to be rusty a little bit, and yet he's just really driving well. That is great. Here's this second prime passing zone coming into the chicane, into this long back straight. And looks like Oliver's managed to maintain his position.
Yeah, that pass for the position there was really hard fought by both drivers. So Oliver really earned that one. Really kind of elbows out racing there early on. Lap 4, lap 5, I guess. Trying to work his way back. You can see a little bit of a gap there has formed up to Alan Paris. So that blanket's getting just bigger and bigger. And Chris Daniel able to pull out another 2/10 from the last time that we checked in on them, but just slowly everybody's pace. Oh, a little bit of a lockup there, slide from Chris Daniel. Let's see if that ultimately costs him. Doesn't look too bad so far, but yeah, this everybody's kind of natural pace, just the field's sorting out a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Rich Butler and Joe Zubovich. A little further back there, I'll tell you what, they were side by side. Looks like Rich Butler just had to check up a bit, and that's going to let Scott Allen by one more time. So Scott Allen trying to work his way back up after one or two, maybe even off tracks earlier on in the race, and let's see if he can go up and catch Joe Zubovich. But yeah, Rich and Joe obviously very similar pace, very similar styles here tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
It was interesting to see that, Chris, because in the pub races I did this week, I really felt that it wasn't to anyone's advantage to try to make passes in that kind of turn 2, 3, 4, 5 compound. But that's not stopping these guys.
No, not at all. I think they're putting on a good show. I don't know if they all are, but shoot. Makes for good television. Look at this, Scott Allen now challenging Joe Zubovich. Yeah, they're gonna make all of these turns, passing zones.
So now they're coming down this back straight.
And we are in the DRS zone, so. Yeah.
And Scott Allen's taking a defensive inside line, and now we're going to see as they come. Oh. Joe Zubo, I think, just decided to back off a little bit. But it's surprising how much too wide action there is to that chicane.
That is, I think, one of the definitions of the vortex of danger right there. Joe would have, I don't know, maybe not, I don't think it would have been the right move, but you could forgive him for seeing a gap there and trying to stick his nose in. And he smartly thought better of it. That, of course, though. Joe's gonna. All three of them.
Yep, and you know that's the second major passing opportunity, which is to outbrake someone for that turn 1 hairpin. And
let's have a quick look at what exactly happened, because we missed that. Scott Allen was involved in there, and Joe Zubo. Oh yeah, he took him. Oh, barely hit him on the back.
Yes.
You could see him locking it up there, just trying to not hit him. I think he just slowed up a little bit more than he anticipated. So, all that being said, it doesn't look like the cars are much worse for the wear, really. Looks like Joe maybe might be missing a nose. No, it's just nose cone is just black. So, yeah.
Hey guys, and what about this fight here with Alex Alton and Oliver Hartley?
Yeah, this is really heating up. So Oliver making the pass earlier. Alex Othon not going to go down without a fight here, even before their first pit stop. So the 19 car here looking inside, looking outside, and letting Oliver know that he is there, ready to pounce on any mistake that Oliver may make.
Yeah, so now Alex is going to really benefit from a strong draft. It's a long downhill back straight here. It looks like Oliver got a little better exit at the top of the hill. And they brake hard, all the way down from 5th gear down to 1st gear for this chicane. And Oliver is coming into the pits for his first fuel stop.
I think that's one of them was going to make that decision right there. That's some good, hard racing. So we've got Chris Daniel, Alan Paris, Oliver Hartley, Rusty Pottenberg, all down pit road on lap 7 here. We are 20 minutes into the race, almost 21. Or I'm sorry, 14. Looking at the wrong thing. 14 and a half minutes.
Yeah, Rich Butler, Joe Zubo, all coming in for their first stops. The track is so long, you really don't want to be off by one. on your fueling.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm sure Alex is happy with that now because as fun as it is to watch, I'm sure the drivers, when you're locked in a battle like that, I mean, as you can see what happened to, Joe and Rich and Scott, sometimes it just opens you up for more opportunities for error. So Alex probably pretty happy to just run a lap or two, maybe 3. Who knows what the fuel situation is by himself. Just get comfortable, kind of breathe a little bit, and then come in and see where he pops out.
While these guys are pitting, we should give a shout out to Russell Gander, who's running in P10 right now. This is his first league Skippy Formula 2 race, and he hails from the Queensland area of Australia.
Well, welcome, Russell. This was a good race to join, I think, if you're going to be starting out. Maybe Long Beach. I don't know, but this one starting out really, really good. I'm already thinking ahead to the grid size for Skippy Formula 1 and just how crazy that's going to be. But we still have a lot of racing here left to go, about just inside of 19 minutes remaining in this race. And the game is afoot. Alex Othon now 25 seconds out in front of Chris Daniel. Pit times.
Guys, he has an issue. He's running out of gas. Look at
I
this.
think he's sputtering. He's very slow in the pit lane. We'll see if he makes it to his pit stall.
Oh my goodness. Just pushing it a little too far, huh?
One lap, that extra 3.2 miles. That's a long way for a Skippy.
And that's gonna hurt. That's painful too. You guys know going slow down pit road is painful enough as it is, but if you're having to coast.
And a Formula 1 pit lane is a long difference. Boy. It looks like he made it. But Chris Daniel, Alan Paris, Oliver Hartley are all just going by him. Rusty Pottenberg is crossing start-finish line and will also get by him. Scott Allen, Rich Butler are coming now as Alex is coming out ahead of them. But boy, that drops Alex all the way down to P5.
Now, here's the interesting thing to me. He made it dang near 17 minutes.
Yep.
There's 17 minutes.
This is a discussion we should have about Dan Pagowski.
Dare he even try? I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose. Just coast, clutch it.
Yeah. Short shifting.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. I don't know, man. With running out of fuel there, he
Guys,
may have sealed his own fate, but
we're talking about tactics. We do see Jake Ashe again in the pit. I'm not sure if that's a tactic but could that be something for interest in later in the race?
Well, he needed to pit, because he had that early tow, and so I think this is his his second stop. He might have topped up with fuel the first time.
I think he could make it from here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, yeah, that might be just his, you know what, we're going to come in one last time and let the chips fall where they may. And
Gander also can probably finish from here. Yes. But the big question is, Alex Othon, can he finish the race? Here's the thing, though, is you want it to finish right at time. Because if it's an extra lap,
yeah,
2.5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a gamble for sure. I mean, you're gonna have to. He has to be in save mode already, like right now. So, yeah, to your point. And then if it does go an extra lap,
wow,
I don't know. That's tough. Let's see what his
Hey guys, and what about Alan Paris? I do see him coming a little bit closer to Chris Daniel. He's nearly in the draft, and that could make a huge difference.
Oh, and Rusty Punberg's around. Sorry, Alex. sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
No. We want to see that part. Let's have a quick look. What exactly happened? Maybe you can talk us through.
So Rusty Punberg crossing the start finish line there, going down into turn 1, and I'm not.
Oh, he just missed the apex. The problem there, you get really beautiful camber.
Great respect for all the other drivers, guys. They didn't hit him, and he could continue. I don't see much damage on his car.
No, I mean, good on Alex Othon too, baby. The reaction time there to realize what was going on and pick a direction, very impressive.
Yeah, that's one characteristic of this track. There are several corners that are really beautifully fast because you have this wonderful camber, but that camber is best and grippiest right at the apex. And so if you run wide at the apex the way that Rusty did there in turn 1, you can lose the rear end really, really easily. I've done that multiple times in practice.
Yeah, we're looking currently at the fight from Alex Alton with Scott Allen. Interesting to see how they go side by side nearly. Now they are going side by side.
Yep. Now, wow, they're going to go down this long hill. This is the back straight. This little kink is nothing, and now it's a test of courage and will here. As it,
oh my gosh!
Like all the way down to first gear coming into the chicane.
Well, there goes my theory of Alex trying to save. Oh well.
Yep.
Well, and the other interesting fight is, of course, for that number 1 position, because we do see Chris Daniel really losing a lot of time up here, and Alan Paris is really gaining on him.
Yeah, he's still running really quick laps, but I mean, I guess Alan Paris is running a little quicker.
Yeah, and he's now in that draft, so he can definitely make use of that. Oh, we do see Chris nearly going off. This is what they mean driving on the edge.
Yes.
Yeah, these guys are really wheeling it tonight. I'm starting to really feel like I missed out on this circuit this week here in the Skippy. These guys, I mean, I don't know what I've been out even of the Discord discussions, but I just feel like this looks like a lot of fun. I don't know what everybody's general sense of the track is, but
well, we do have an expert up here, Peter. What do you think?
It around.
Yeah, I was thinking about both you and Tim because I know how much you both really loved racing on the Red Bull ring. For me, this track reminds me a lot, the way it races.
Interesting.
Really important strategic drafting, hard braking zones, wide track that just invites some really, really fast cornering. I think both you and Tim, this is the kind of track that I think suits your driving styles.
Well, shoot.
I do have to say sorry, but a
day and a half left to try to get some racing.
Well, and the problem for this is, and I think, Peter, we discussed it, the level is so high in this league that you can't just practice for half an hour. No, you need to do a really, really good practice. And I'm in some other leagues right now, the Formula V. I enjoy that a lot. So yeah, it's difficult.
Hey, just watching Alex Othon and Scott Allen coming to the chicane again. It looks like Alex this time is going to slot in behind.
Oh man, that was close. Yeah, Alex. Really, you could see the weight transfer there when he hit the brakes going into. Oh man, leaving Scott Allen out there on his own. He was not going to telegraph his pit stop strategy. Rich Butler, though, is going to join him.
So Alex Othon is answering the question. He's not going to try to finish the race, so he will just take the barest splash of fuel here.
Yeah, but what about Alan Paris? Because he's been there now for quite a while behind Chris Daniel. He's also not really trying to overtake, seems to me.
Yeah, it's interesting because that gap has been pretty steady, almost like perfect 1 second gap the whole time. You do wonder if he's saving fuel.
Something to keep in the back of your minds here, both Alex and Rich Butler had 9.1, 9.2 second pit times. So that's just while they're in pit. So 9 seconds-ish of fuel that they took. So as everybody goes through the pit stops, we can compare that and see if maybe they can lose or gain some time. Chris Daniel is just, I mean, look at that. Sideways, looking really good. Still got the fastest lap of the race with a 2:19.366. Still not that far off, but yeah, to your point, Alan Paris is right there and actually had a faster lap last time. So tough to tell. I mean, one person's, oh, he's just trying to save fuel and hang out, is another person's, man, Chris Daniel's really fast, and no matter what I do, I can't catch him.
We talk about this almost every week, Chris. Whether whether we're more comfortable being Chris Daniel or more comfortable being Alan Paris in this case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I'm Alan Paris, I definitely want to be a second closer.
Right. Yeah, I think as you get more comfortable in the cars and you gain consistency, you like to be out front. You know, I'm not there where I have the confidence necessarily. I would love to have a carrot to chase. Yeah. That gets me focused. That keeps my mind clean. I know what I needed to do to get it done. There's just, yeah. Hopefully guys like Chris Daniel, though, don't think like I do, and they can just focus on their race and run their line and make it happen. And as we say that, look at that. The gap is almost doubled now from the last time we talked.
Yeah, Chris just ran at 2:19.8 to Alan Paris's 2:27, and so he's definitely stretching out the lead.
And I thought I saw Alan smoke it a little bit through, oh shoot, maybe it was 14 and 15 at the end of the last lap. So I think that could have been the difference right there. We'll have to get his take on that later, but.
Well, let's hope Chris Daniel still has one more pit stop to make in order to, you would think, in order to make it to the end of the race, along with Alan Paris. And so let's really hope for a clean, penalty-free pit stop for Chris Daniel here.
Yeah, Peter, what are you trying to say here? Because this looks a little bit... I'm not going to call it out, but we're calling it out. I am very curious. We do have to look very closely to Chris, because I want to see all his practice done in this second pit stop.
Yes.
Which should happen quite early, I think.
It should happen. In fact, he's coming into the pit lane now.
There you go, both of them.
Yep. Let's see how hard he brakes here. It actually comes up fast, the cones right there.
That looked very clean to me.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your eye there. You got the 4 car of Scott Allen, the 11 car of Joe Zubovich coming around turn 16 here, which is the final turn before the start-finish line.
They're all going into the pits. They're all going into the pits.
Yeah.
There you go.
And while they do that, Chris Daniel and Alan Paris are going out.
And
Oliver Hartley is going to be your first person who hasn't pit, and he just crossed the start-finish line. So they're going to, even though they had about 2 seconds slower pit stops, they're still going to be able to maintain a bit of a gap from third place.
But what a great showing for Oliver Hartley back from his injury, running pretty strong P3. Oh, it looks like Scott Allen. Did Scott Allen have an issue there?
I don't know if he
Yeah,
had
he's an issue.
but he
It's called
definitely,
Rich Butler.
is
Yeah.
Oh man, alive! These guys are really just smoking. Look at Alex Othon really pushing it. Got Allen right on his gearbox.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious! And just behind them, Rich Butler and Joe Zubovich also basically locked up in tandem.
Boy, for such a big track and such a fast track, it's amazing just how tight some of these battles are.
Yeah, these they've got a couple drivers here who just clearly have very similar pace, very similar styles. .7, 9.8 seconds is the gap between Chris Daniel and Alan Paris. And then you've got Alex Othon and Scott Allen and Joe Zubovich and Rich Butler. Those are going to be your three closest battles as we see Scott Allen and Alex Othon going wheel to wheel. A lot of room, a lot of respect.
Yep. And here, whoever gets the better exit, because this is the beginning of the back straight. Looks like Scott Allen got a little better of that, but now Alex Othon's going to be able to draft here. And again, it's going to be a test of wills coming into the game.
Alex Othon just looking a little squirrely, but yeah. Oh man, look at that side by side through the
Yeah, I
chicane.
wonder about that over-under kind of move that Scott Allen attempted. It looks hard. It looks like he ought to be able to do that, but I've yet to see someone pull that off.
Yeah, I think you got to drive a little more elbows out, and I just don't know that that's on the menu for these guys tonight. So maybe if you're a Max Verstappen or a Lewis Hamilton, but
No, they just drive in the rain and get points.
2 laps.
Yeah, I guess there was quite a bit of chatter in the league Discord about that and about how much of that is going to be simulated in iRacing when rain becomes more
I do.
prevalent.
If I could throw a red flag right now, I would.
Yeah.
I don't think I have those abilities. We could, once they bring rain in, especially in the Skippy. Oh man, that's rain delay for Skippy Formula 2, bumping up against Skippy Formula 1. Can you imagine?
No, I can't. And then we already have difficulty enough to stay on the track. We don't need more things. I don't understand that
Everybody,
part.
nobody. Everybody wants rain, and I'm in the camp that I think people are going to regret wanting rain. But
Oh, I can tell you, I lived in the Netherlands. Rain is not fun. Like, that's why I moved to the United States, to have a little bit more sunshine.
well, another battle here, heating up. Joe Zubovich, Rich Butler. Joe tried to look on the inside there very briefly, could not make it stick. So looks like he relents for at least one more lap. We do have 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the race. Chris Daniel, our leader, is going to take the white flag here, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it looks like Alex Othon and Scott Allen going at it again.
Woo!
That's great.
Hold on to it.
Didn't we see that?
Oh, little bump. Lost his wing.
Yeah.
A little donation to the track. Oh no, he still got it. Never mind, it reattached.
A little crumpled.
But look at that. I mean, so that's gonna bring Rich Butler and Joe Zubovich into the picture there for Scott Allen. We are on the last lap. 0.7 seconds is the gap for the leader. And then you've got this battle here for P5 between Scott Allen, Rich Butler, Joe Zubovich. For all intents and purposes right now, I believe that's going to be your closest battles on the track.
And then the others, Daniel Pagowski, Jake Ashe, Russell Gander, Rusty Pottenberg, I think they're not having the races they're looking for, but they're making their way around also on their last laps.
Absolutely, and of course Oliver Hartley having a very quiet race now, still sitting on that podium spot, kind of out there on his lonesome, but that's a good place to be, I suppose. Oh, Joe sacrifices himself for the greater good, but that's going to ruin his chance at any more positions here tonight.
Yes. Meanwhile, Rich Butler has really caught up to Scott Allen.
He really has.
And they've kind of lost out to Alex.
Yeah, it looks like no. The 4 was giving him some sort of signal there with the. But Rich, hold on to it, buddy.
I wonder if they're having fuel issues.
I don't know. Yeah, he gave the little wiggle there to, I assume, indicate get by me.
Yep. Oh, and Daniel Pagowski appears also to be having a fuel issue. Yep, he's sputtering in the pit lane.
We do have a finish right over here. Chris Daniel comes over.
As all that's happening, congratulations to Chris Daniel on the win. Holy cow. Alan Paris just couldn't quite close the gap. 0.8 was...
Yep. And Scott Allen has run out of fuel on the back straight.
Oliver Hartley is going to round out your podium. Looks like Alex Othon coming around the final corner now. He's going to take home P4 with Rich Butler, your top 5. Up 6 positions. He's going to be your largest gainer of the evening, too. So what a great night for Rich Butler.
Fantastic race. Joe Zupo, also a great race.
Yeah, just if not for just one or two turns there, I think that could have been an even better race for him tonight, but still, P6 up 2 spots, awesome. Rusty Pottenberg coming across the line, and sure these guys are all, holy cow. I mean, I'm tired. I don't know, but that looked like you had to be wheeling it. There was no breaks to be had there for any of these guys.
In fact,
I'm not sure,
I am going to sign off and get in my car right now and get ready for Skippy Formula 1.
There you go. All right.
All right, Peter.
We are running late, probably, huh?
Yeah, we have a couple of minutes.
All right. Let's see.
I still don't see everybody in. I think Jack Ashe is still driving, so I can't bring up the results. But we know that Chris Daniel was on first position. Alan Paris made some really good points over here in the championship. And number 3 was Oliver Hartley. Good to see him back on the track. So Peter, you're going to back in the car. Chris, we're gonna do this together. Shall we take a 5-minute break and then come back with full energy for Formula 1?
Ready to go. Let's get some espresso and do it.
All right. I'll see you on the flip side.
See you.
All right. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Shit, my enable automatic shot selection was off. Do you know what that means? That means I have to I was like, why are my groups not working? So I had to go every time to a different group where I knew the corner was ending or something like that. I was like, what is happening? So that's why I couldn't talk that much. At one point I was like, all right, you guys keep going because this ain't happening, but I fixed that. Why?
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to Sunday Night Skippy Racing. We are now watching the qualifying for Skippy Formula One here from Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. And if the Skippy Formula 2 race was any indication, this one is going to be an absolute barn burner, and I am here for it. So, Pim Luth is joining me tonight, and I don't believe Ian's here yet. Correct. No. Let's run through them. You're saying the new to the league. An alien spotting. Okay, all right. Hit me with it. All right, well, Pete Mulbron back in a big way, and Leo, and correct me here on my pronunciation, Ocharov. Oh, okay. All right, well. We're on a first name basis with everybody from now on, just because it's getting, yeah. There we go. Well, I also noticed somebody who's been a little more, I guess, vocal in the Discord, at least, Jeff Snavely, who I think is relatively new, at least for me, and I have been out a few weeks, so there you go. But Gregor Klingman also is a name. Benjamin Harris, relatively new, I would say. Oh, okay. Formula V guy. Gotcha. Very good. And it's funny you mentioned that now. Of course, I recognize the names from the Formula V, watching Ian's broadcast there. There's just like a mental block, apparently, that I have with seeing them on the SDK layout versus on the timing tower when I'm watching Ian's stream there. So there we go. Good stuff. All right. So welcome to all the either new or relatively newcomers, and good luck to all of you. And I'm looking forward to seeing the how everybody kind of stacks out. We've got a really full field here tonight. This track, I think, is going to produce a lot of good racing. We mentioned this in the Skippy Formula 2 broadcast. So for those of you who didn't watch, shame on you. But the point I was trying to make is that this seems like there's a lot of different types of corners. So we've got a lot of drafts, we've got a lot of different types of turns, little technical sections, and to me, that's what I kind of really enjoy, that style of track. So I don't know what everybody else kind of thought and what kind of racing it's produced in the public races, but I am excited to see what the Skippy Formula 1 drivers can do with the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. Yeah, that's Peter's point. Was this was very Red Bull Ring-esque. At least he said it drove like it. So all those drivers, to your point, Girk and Demir, I think Adam Wright had a good night that week. Is Adam in here today? Well, he does always have a good night. I'm not seeing him. But now, I'm getting word that we may not be able to hear you, Pim.
Well, this may be that mute button that was on the last time is now off, and then it's on, and we can hear you.
Okay, well,
now
just,
quite
yeah,
nice.
I would say it's gonna sound really. So if that's accurate, I do apologize. You guys get to listen to just me. Not great. Nobody wants that. We like the back and forth. And I swear I'm not having a conversation with myself. I swear.
So
Pim is
hey,
talking
sorry,
to
I
me.
was a little bit late, but I'm back up here. What happened?
No, not fair. Not fair.
Oh, this is gonna
Well-
be a fun night. I can see it already.
Well, we've got a really interesting fallout here for this qualifying session. We've got all the way down to 15th position. No, take that back. I want to say 25th position, having laid down a hot lap. I'll tell you what.
Tell me what.
This is going to be interesting because when you look at the fastest times here, I mean,
You mean Leo Octaro for this 2.18.10?
yeah, Trevor is like really. I mean, he's got a half second. Well, shoot. Now more than that over Jeff Snavely. And then the rest of the field is really pretty close. Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, it's getting there. I think if you looked at Andrew Cole, who's on 18th position as a 220, like that's not that far away, especially not with
Yeah.
with the draft over here, all those difficult corners.
and here's the thing. When I don't get to run the track, I don't know what the off tracks are like. Because as everybody knows, or maybe you don't, when you are qualifying, if you even go off track just a little bit from the track limits, then that invalidates your lap. So I think there's probably a few drivers who suffered that fate, unfortunately. Probably not a great.
No, let's have a quick look at the qualification. We see Leo Octarov on first position, was expected. Jeffrey Decker really close, half at the 5/10 behind there. Then we see Jeff Snaley, Michael Hounik, Peter Mabrotten, of course, number 5. Gurken de Meer, told you so. Gurken de Meer on 6th position. That's going to be interesting. We see Michael McLeod in the top 7. That's the long time that we've seen him over there. We know he can do this, but this one is quite interesting. Mike Bowers, position number 8. Benjamin Barris, really nice on 9th position. And then of course Carl Dronke needs to be in that top 10. Interesting top 10.
Yeah, and you got some fast drivers behind that even there. You know, obviously J.R. Hoop, Spencer Clark, Peter Nodwell, Gregor Klingman, Steve Dewar, Joshua Dancy back in 16th spot. That's a shocker here. Matt Shepka, though, Andrew Cole, Max Giacomo, and Brian Perez all in the top 20. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those guys made a charge, tried to make a charge there to the front.
No,
for a top 10 finish. Yeah.
Totally agree. But then what about Matthew Zepka on that 17th position? That's an interesting spot. I really see him grow a lot in this season, and I'm curious how far he will make that.
Yeah, and I don't put any stock into iRating. I famously take a very hard stance against giving any sort of care about what your iRating is. But when you look,
But you're going to invalidate that right now by saying this.
He is, in a field of giants here. Where if you were just to take their iRating at face value, Matt Shepka is surrounded by people who have a much higher iRating than him. So, awesome performance there in qualifying for Matt, and hopefully he can keep that up.
Look at this. I think this is one of the first starts where we actually have everybody on the straight. that it's possible. Such a long straight, because it's not about the cars.
Yeah, I think that's more of a testament to the straightaway than the field, because we still are at 32 cars, I believe, here for the start. So we'll see what happens. But I think we are getting ready to go racing here. 45 minutes, 2 pit stops.
All right, the lights are coming on. Everything is on the reds. I hear the revs and we're going off. All right, here we go. Leo immediately first. Jeffrey going over in there. Wow, what a view. Look at that.
Yeah, we're going to go 3 wide.
Oh yeah,
turn
4
one.
wide. I see 4 wide right over here. Jack Moffat right in the middle over there. Peter Lee right behind him. Oh man, this is chaos.
I don't know how. Luckily, that track is pretty wide right there. Everybody going 3 wide, but still giving each other a lot of room and respect, all things considered.
Oh, this is
Very
amazing.
weird, almost a. Yeah, we're gonna go side by side, but we're gonna give each other plenty of room. That's really awesome.
And I think that's what this track does to people. It is really it's able to fight and to continue your fight as well. Look at this! It's already a long straight line of skippies, with Leo
Yes.
there on the top, Jeffrey Decker right behind him, and Michael Hawanik up there. Pietro Broughton already a spot 1 over there.
Oh, look at Jack Moffitt and the 308 machine of Max DiGiacomo. This is going to be side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel action. Neither one of these guys want to give it up. It looks like they are going to sort it out here. And the first few turns are going to get most everybody side-by-side, or nose to tail. It does look like Spencer Clark's going to pass Benjamin Harris there for that top 10 position. A little further back, Aaron Law just passed Peter Lee for 24th position. Aaron Law already up 4 spots, so he's starting to try to work his way up through the field. Rusty Ponberg's next in his crosshairs there. See if he can make it happen. But yeah, the concertina or accordion effect, depending on where you're from, huge here through some of these slower turns. Aaron Law going to look to the inside of there. Rusty.
All right, and we do see that a pit stop was necessary for Leo. Had a penalty and had to go into the pit as well right there. So that's why Jeffrey Decker was quite easy on him, because he takes that lead right now. Interesting to see Michael Hawanik and Pete McBroughton go immediately with him. But look at those times. Everybody is close.
Oh, we got a big wreck. Max DiGiacomo.
Let's have a quick look. What
Kyle
happened?
Reed. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened here.
All right, let's have a quick look. They're coming all in turn 1. You see Jack looking over there a little bit. He's going. Oh, he hits the back, and then yeah. Well, whoa! Look at Oliver. Okay, we're gonna look this one more time, but then from Oliver. Where is he?
It looks like Jack Moffitt may have just got into the back there of Max Giacomo, stacked him up, and everybody kind of had to hit the brakes. So.
Yeah, but I do have to say, Oliver Hartley took a really nice approach over there.
Line through.
and made it right through over there. And while we're there, we're seeing up front Jeffrey Decker getting really some tension, not just from Michael Hawanik, but also Pete McBroughton and Gurkin Demir over there.
Oh, and I believe we have another crash here. Spencer Clark is off track, so he was running.
Well, he's dropping a lot. He's dropping to the end.
I think that was just he locked it up and then just got absolutely speared. I don't know who that was behind him at the time.
right, so let's go back to the front where it's getting really close with everybody. People brought them the quickest time, 2:18.8.
Look at
Nita
that.
takes over. Yeah, nice move. All right, so that's a move where we can expect something in that first corner.
So we've got the top 8 right now. Real close. Another great battle here. Peter Lee, actually, and Ray Bartnikowski side by side. They are going for 21st position. Ray Bartnikowski up 8 spots. He's going to take that. These guys trading barbs, but looks like Ray is going to make the better of it and try to work his way. Oh, and Jack Moffat's going to go around.
Oh.
Gets clear of the track. Self-cleaning corner there. And that's going to let Ray and Peter and Rich and Oliver and everybody else gain one more position.
Yeah, look at that. And Hartley is really coming a lot closer over there.
Another battle up here. Matt Shepka in the 490. Really willing it here with the 901 of Aaron Law and the 93 of Brian Perez. Shepka making the move to the inside on Law, but Law
he makes it stick. No, he makes it stick. No, no. He has it over here.
Look at this, though. He's going to... No. Maybe he... I don't know why...
No, he saw it coming and he just wanted to
it.
be safe. Yeah. Which was probably the wisest choice to do.
Most likely. Meanwhile, Oliver Hartley and, Max DiGiacomo having to take some evasive action there. Oliver just going a little bit wide. But Max able to save it, and he's going to take the position there, or keep it, I guess. No, take it. Max back up to 24th position after that.
Yeah, and then to see Leo Oktarov driving right in front of him. That's got to be interesting.
See if he can maybe hook onto the back there. He's just behind Rich Butler and Peter Lee, who we were just watching.
But this is the problem with SF1. There's happening too much. I don't know how you do this, but we're actually looking around now with Pete Broughton, who take the first position and has now Jeffrey Decker behind him. So the roles have turned, and Pete is now leading this. I don't see that much. Most of the times he waits before he actually comes to the front. But this is an early start from him.
Yeah, he saw the move, nice and clean. Decker kept it wide and slotted right back in there behind, or in front of Gurkendamir, behind Pete. Sorry. Pete Peters, we've got so many people here. All right, so there you go. You got Pete Broughton now in the lead with 37 minutes remaining in the race.
I'm not sure. Something goes wrong.
Things are getting a little crazy. Pete Mobron with the fastest time there. Yeah, Michael Howanek was a little bit slower that last lap.
All right, we are having some technical difficulties, so you have to talk us through what exactly happens.
Good. We're going to radio.
We can see if we can restart. It's never happened before.
Pete Brown leads with Jeffrey Decker, Gurkendamir, Michael Howanek, Michael McLeod, Jeff Snavely, Mike Bowers, and Carl Dronke all under a blanket there. You've got another 5 seconds back to JR Hoops in 9th position, but he is dragging along Gregor Klingman, Steve Dewar, and Joshua Dancy. And that's going to be your top 12. We've got some great battle going back here with Matt Shepka and Brian Perez for the 16th spot. A little further back, your biggest mover of the evening so far, Ray Bartnikowski. He's up 10 spots, and he's got Kyle Reed ahead of him, barely, with dragging Rusty Pottenberg along. And further back still, we've got Rich Butler, Max Giacomo, Peter Lee, and Oliver Hartley all doing battle there for the 22nd position. Leo Ovcharov is working his way back up to 21st position after having to serve the lap 1 penalty. Jeffrey Decker has retaken the lead just now. Just now, as we're talking, Jeffrey Decker back in the lead. We are 10 minutes into our 45-minute race. There should be 2 pit stops.
I'll have to say, I'm not sure if I have to actually do this. This is a lot of fun listening to this.
I'm trying to do my best Motorsports Performance Network impression here. So yeah, your top 8 under a blanket here, working their way through turn 6. They're going to make one more turn down into the turn 8 hairpin, and everybody staying single file so far. Once again, your closest battle on the pitch here, Spencer Clark's going to pass Jake Ashe for P26. Spencer Clark had an early race incident. He's down 14 spots on the evening, but trying to work his way back up. Spencer Clark, Jake Ashe, Jack Moffitt all in the battle for 26th position. Jack Moffitt looking inside on Jake Ashe. Not going to happen. They're going to shuffle back through. Jeffrey Decker continues to lead with Pete Mobrun and Gurkin Demir. Michael Howenick, Michael McLeod, Jeff Snavely, Mike Bowers, and Carl Dronke all in tow.
Now, you're doing a really good job on the moment. When do you think they're going to go for a pit stop?
That's a good question. We've got 11 minutes in, so you got to figure they're getting ready to start coming in, and it's really going to depend. Oh, big stack up there in the front group. That's going to get Mike Bowers. Nope. Carl Dronke's just going to let off, and they will all go and survive for one more. But Pete Mobrun, I don't know what happened exactly there. Real quick, Joshua Dancy went off track, so I want to see if I can see. Pete Mobrun looked inside, so they're going through the complex. Decker got outside. I don't know what the heck. Trying to see what it maybe happened here. So Pima Brown looked on the inside of the turn, was able to make it, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but either way, Pima Brown's your new leader, and Jeffrey Decker, Gurkin Demir are your top 3. Michael Howard, Michael McLeod, Jeff Snavely, Mike Bowers, and Carl Dronke all will remain real close, and we will start seeing pit stops happen here, folks. Just to Pim's point, we've got
well, and I do want to mention that we can see that right now again. We're having screen again, so lucky you
oh,
can,
very good. All right, I can stop calling every little thing.
But I see that we didn't miss much. Pete is still in that lead and is running it quite nicely.
Yeah, we got some great battles happening throughout. To your point, Skippy Formula One, you know, it's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to close, hard racing. Obviously, top 10, you can see Carl Dronke now making the move on Mike Bowers. That's going to be for 7th position. You got Joshua Dancy working on Steve Dewar with JR Hoops in tow. And then further back, man, look at this. I mean, Brian Perez, Matt Shepka, Leo Ovcharov, Tyler Reed, and Ray Bartnikowski. This is going to be a great group to watch here. But what I'm really curious about, to your point, is when these pit stops are going to start coming, because I'll tell you what, that's going to be... Oh, somebody's slow. Who is that? Nope, never mind. Just looks like Dancy's going to make the move on Steve Dewar there.
So can you tell me what exactly happened with Jeffrey Decker?
Looks like he's going down pit road.
It looks like he's crashed and he is out on the moment. And while we're talking about that, we do see them going 3 wide over here with Michael Hownick. Wow. They make this stick. Oh, this is interesting to see. Look at that. That's an interesting fight over here with Michael Houwenick, but definitely McLeod over there looking every time. And I see Jeff Snavely, that beautiful car, that pink one, is also coming up, and Carl Dronker right behind there as well.
Yeah, so it looks like potentially Gurkin Demir made contact there with Decker, which sent him around. So Decker thought the best thing to do would just be to head down pit road.
That could be a smart move. I also see that Peter Lee crashed. Have a quick look what happened over there. He's with Rich Butler and seems going perfectly fine. Oh, and then gets a really tiny little bump from Rich Butler on the back. He safely gets out of there, but that hurts in your race.
Yeah, it looked almost like nothing, but just enough to upset the car, and then you got to back it out off the line and get rolling again. But all in all, not the worst thing that could have happened, I suppose.
No, it's funny. It's funny, we were looking at this morning at an awesome race with the BRL League, where everything was really close and people were towing each other. And you see the same thing happening over here. Gurkin Demir is really towing this group, seeing if he can come back to Peter Mobrotten. Oh, I see some pit strategies coming up here.
There you go, Pete Mobrotten coming in. Gurkin Demir coming in,
Ooh.
Michael Houwenick. Ooh.
He really took the edge of this one.
I didn't realize how tough that pit entry was, man. They're really pushing it, and you got that wall right there.
Well, it looks a little bit like they're using it. We do see some smoke over there, but seems that everybody is fine. Leo Oktarov also back over there. Look at that, he's not that far behind.
No, so he's been consistently a half second faster than the rest of the field. Consistently. For the past few, I've been watching the past few laps at least. And
yeah, I had some difficulties. I couldn't do that. But look at
he has been showing up and putting the laps in. So if he can keep that up.
And look at this here in the front right now. We see Michael McLeod. I'm not sure if he ever run on first position, but he's running over there right now together with Jeff Snavely and Carl Dronker right behind him. But they're gonna pit.
Yeah, these guys stayed out obviously a little bit later. So we'll see what their strategy is. But we are now 17 and a half minutes into the 5-minute race. So you've got to imagine. I mean, this is about the amount of time that the Skippy Formula 2 guys were surviving on the pit. So, so Jeff Snavely, Carl Dronke, Joshua Dancy, Oliver Hartley, and Spencer Clark are your top 6. None of them have pit so far. So we will see what happens when everything cycles through. But you can see, Michael McLeod goes just a little bit wide. He's going to have to let Carl Dronke go by. But he will slot right in back in front of Jeff Snavely there.
Well, yeah, but now we're on that straight, and Snavely has a good insight over there. It seems that he keeps behind him. Takes a different line over here. Oh, Michael McLeod let him really pass over there. And Joshua Denshaw is right behind there as well. Well, it's not that far away.
Not at all, but it looks like they're all coming in to pit at any rate. Joshua Dancy is going to join them. Oliver Hartley, we will see. He's up 26 spots right now. I mean, part of that is obviously the pit.
Ooh, that was very, very close over there.
It always is. Look at them. It's just drifting around the corner. Oliver Hartley might be in...
No, Hartley is he going in? Yeah, he's going... Otherwise, it would be so much fun coming back. But he's going into the pit, and he gets past here on the line. Oh, look at that! Whoa!
That's what I'm saying. I think he was slowing up real early. He may be out of fuel.
No, I think he just wasn't aware exactly where the track was, and you don't say that to the rest because they take advantage of that.
Well. Tell you what, all that pit stop is going to let Pete Mobron cycle back through to the lead, and it is by 2.7 seconds. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure why, because their pit times were all fairly similar.
Yeah, can I have a look if I can bring those pit times up? Always good to see that. Yeah, and we do see that McLeod was really fast. Michael McLeod, 10.7. But for the rest, yeah, it wasn't that much difference.
Yeah, he's definitely an outlier there. 3 to 4 seconds faster than everybody else. So I'm not 100%
what do you think
sure
about Benjamin
what the strategy
Harris?
was.
Benjamin Harris, 8.2 seconds.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so
that's going to be like
into the single digits. That is the undercut of all undercuts, I guess. So obviously planning to come back in for another round much earlier than everybody else. So I guess he just figures he wants to be on the, very different strategy. So.
Well, on the other hand, he's now driving in the draft of Jeffrey Decker, Jeff Snavely. So not a bad company you have over here.
Yeah. Best. I mean, I hope it works out for him. I love pit strategy. If you can make a unique pit strategy work, then hats off to you. It is something that has always eluded me. I've had teammates before, both in oval and road, that can make just ridiculous fuel strategy decisions work, and I have always been extremely jealous of it. But yeah, in the meantime, looks like what do we got here? Live? No, okay, there we go. That would help if I was live. So after all that, Michael McLeod's going to cycle through third, by the way. So Pimo Brown, Gurkin de Beer, Michael McLeod. And then it gets real interesting from Carl Drunke on back, because these guys all stay together. You can see Michael Howenick going on to the inside, coming across the start-finish line in turn one. Mike Bowers. Ooh, boy, look at that. These guys are giving each other no quarter. There's no, we talk all the time. Oh, saw that coming. Mike Bowers making the contact there with Michael Howenick, 187.
Yeah,
saw that one coming a mile away.
Yeah, that was quite obvious that was going to happen. Luckily, Carl was ahead of that. Didn't have any troubles with it. He's running quite some times over here.
Yeah, these guys got their work cut out for them, but I'll tell you what, man, I'm super shocked. These guys usually, you see them line up, kind of fall in line and work their way back up if they're a little bit behind, but no rest for the weary here. These clearly they all think that they've got the pace to lead the pack and drag the rest of the guys up, and there you go. That's what you get. So we'll see if Carl now, Lee and Jeffrey Decker, Jeff Snavely, are able to make it up to Michael McLeod in third. Gurkin Demir and he are locked in the battle for P2.
Yeah, and that distance to Pete Mobron is similar, right? It stays at around that 2.6 seconds.
They're not losing that much time. So, and I'll tell you what, again, Leo, our buddy Leo Ovcharov, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing incorrectly, still remains about a half second faster than everybody else on the track. It's crazy. This guy's back up to 14th position already, and he is continuing to work his way through the field. He set the purple lap last lap, 2:17.77, and no signs of letting up. This guy has just ridiculous pace.
Yeah, it looks a little bit... I'm curious what he's going to do right now, because he has like 5 cars in front of him with like not the least people. We see Mike Bowers, JR Hoops right over there.
Yeah, and they're going to go side by side too, so there's really nowhere for him to go at the moment. Looks like JR is probably going to... what's he going to do?
We see in the back that Matthew Repka crashed, so that's unfortunate.
And Brian Perez. So that was Oh, different incidents even. Oh, no. Looks like, oh, I don't know what happened there. Brian Perez. Oh, boy. So Brian Perez slowed up. Matt Shepka went to the inside. I don't know what happened to Perez there. He had Max Giacomo to the inside. He slowed up. Matt Shepka made evasive maneuver to avoid, and then, yeah, and then Perez just collected him on the other side of the chicane there. That's a very unfortunate turn of events for both of those drivers.
Yeah, while you were talking, we do see that Leo Oktarov has passed Mike Bowers, and he's going up to have a look at Steve Durer, because that's the next victim for him. But how is it going in the front? We see Pete McBrotten does lose a little bit. It's not that much. 2.2 seconds is still quite a bit, and we have Michael McLeod and Gurkan Demir right behind there.
Yeah, well, Leo won. In the amount of time it took you to say that, Leo has now passed Steve Dewar and has Gregor Klingman in his sights. But yeah, 0.3 seconds now is the difference between Gurkan Demir and Michael McLeod, and they have gained that same amount on Pete Broughton. It looks like they are trying to work a little bit together. Michael McLeod not pushing the issue. This is more what I'm used to seeing from these guys. Just, okay, you know, let's get in line and use our collective pace to get to the front. Michael McLeod in a great position here, able to probably save a little bit of fuel while going fast. And I got to imagine he's feeling really good about his position right now. Jeffrey Decker, Jeff Snavely, and Carl Dronke all right in a row for fourth position. And
doing pretty much the same thing. They're doing pretty much the same thing. You see that they're just trying to work together.
Not sure what happened to Scott Bell. I'm getting a notification that he jumped to...
No, Scott Bell didn't even start, I think. Did he?
Oh. Oh, he's out there now. I don't know what happened. So Jack Moffitt's back into pit road. I guess we'll say that. So, not the first of the second pit stops. I believe Benjamin Harris. You know what? Actually, those might be incident related. So I'll hold off on making any big announcements on who's made 2 pit stops yet. But we are now passing 27 minutes into the 45-minute race. That means there's about 18 minutes left. Once again, that's right around the time that we saw the first pit stops happen. So that being said, we are now, I believe, pit window is open, and drivers will start having to make choices about when they're going to come in for their second stop.
I know one thing. When we say the pit window is open, Pete McBrotten stays out. So I'm going to expect that he's not going to be in there. And but I am curious about the rest. We have Gurkan Demir and Michael McLeod. They are working together, but now is that point where you're going to say, okay, goodbye. We've worked together, but now I need to go on my own. It could be that McLeod's going in earlier.
That gap it went back up to 2.5, so they're not really gaining or making any time on Pete McBrotten, right? You know, it's when do you make that choice about, okay, this was fun, working together, but now game on?
Yeah, when do you wait till you see Leo in your back mirror? Because that's a little bit what's going to happen.
Well, guess who's in P9? Guess who's in P9? Leo working his way up, man.
Maybe we should make a theme out of this. Just get a couple of people, give him a penalty, and let them go to the back. It's a much more interesting race to see that.
Unreal. So he's crossing the start-finish line now. Obviously, still got to make another pit stop, but he has worked his way up. And, top 10 at the moment.
Ooh,
great battle happening behind him. You can see Aaron Law doing the undercut there of Gregor Klingman. Man, really, those guys are getting close. I wish I could say this was the closest battle going on the field by far, but it's really not. I mean, you look back at just behind them, Mike Bowers, J.R. Hoops, Steve Dewar, Peter Nodwell. I mean, these guys
I've difficulties to follow everything, and we do see that one thing is important is that Jeffrey Decker is coming closer. So I'm not sure what Jurgen and Michael McLeod are thinking, but they need to do something because this strategy is not working for them.
Well, I mean, you got Decker, Snavely, and Dronke in a row. I mean, you gotta start sweating a little bit. You're on borrowed time when you've got these three drivers lined up trying to track you down.
Yeah, and you also see that they're working together, and you know Jeffrey Decker and Carl Dronke, they're going to do that. They know how to work together. They've done that many different times. And it looks like Jeff Snavely has been in this league forever because he joins them quite nicely. Awesome to see how those people join and immediately follow the same structures.
Absolutely. Well, man, I'll tell you what. So we've got 30 and a half minutes in. We've got 14 and a half minutes to go. And the race is wide open at this point. I mean, there you go. Jeffrey Decker diving into pit road. He's going to have company with Michael McLeod. So, interesting. So these are two guys who are in different draft packs, trying to make the different decision than other people.
I don't want to say, but look who's behind there. Look who's really close behind there. That blue-yellow car. Leo Oktarov, also in the pits.
Pit road for his second stop as well. So it's going to be Decker, Howanick, McLeod, Oktarov, and Giacomo all down pit road for their final stop. Where did he go?
Oh, no, look at this. McLeod, really quick, but Jeffrey is a little bit smarter over there. Oh, and it's going to be an interesting corner over there. Rusty. Yeah, come on, Rusty. Don't give up. He has that inside line right now. I love that when this is also happening.
This is for position right here.
This is for position.
No blue flags. Yeah. This is Rusty Pondberg's got to defend his spot, man. Go for it.
Oh, he's eating him alive.
He wants that position. Well, how much do you push? Oh, look at him squeeze it. Wow.
Yeah, and now McLeod. What is McLeod doing?
Move.
Look at McLeod. He's like, I need to pass as well. Rusty, give me some room. Rusty. And Rusty is like, no.
This is all
defending over here. Come on, Rusty. Yeah, this is really also... Oh, he's sending it right over there.
Tense corners.
But you're not finished. Sure. You're not finished with Rusty. Look at that.
He is hanging tough, man. That is great racing.
So what do we see? Pete Broughton. Is he going into the pit? Yes, he's going into the pit. Of course. Yeah. Jurgen de Meer straight behind him.
Snavely stays out with Dronke.
All right, this is again like I think the first time that we see Jeff Snavely in the lead.
He will lead this lap for sure. Yeah. So Dancy, La, Klingman, Bowers, Hoops, Dewar, and Nodwell all into pit road as well. Reed, Cole, Bartnikowski.
Who isn't in the pit right now?
Yeah.
I'm just going to have a quick look. I know I'm a little bit biased, but I do want to see what Peter Lee is doing on the moment. Yeah, it looks like he has a complete fresh car and drives all by himself over there. It's going to be a lonely race. Has Jake Ashe right in front of him, but it will take a while before he can catch up with him.
Yeah, we'll see. It's 5 seconds up to 28 there with Jake, and another about the same gap up to Spencer Park there in 27. So good luck to Peter there. Although I'm sure Jake's like, whoa, what the heck, man? But maybe they both have a chance of catching Rich Butler. We'll see.
Oh yeah, there's still 10 minutes to go, so there's plenty to race for. And while we talk about that, we do see that Carl Dronke and Jeff Snavely are quietly running together. Carl keeps it quite easily over here.
Yeah, so you'll see Snavely and Dronke are both the only drivers who have not pit twice. So, yes, their interval is 27 seconds right now, but they still have to come down pit road and get that splash of Sunoco race fuel. And we are looking right now at...
They're still not pitting.
Wow.
I don't know what kind of fuel they're using, but I like to have some of it.
They got those, maybe the Tesla hybrid batteries in there.
They put them below on that Skippy.
9.5 minutes remain in the race, and yeah, they're really pushing it. But yeah, zero chance. I'm gonna say maybe 0.1, because there's no such thing as no chance, but 0.1% chance that they're gonna make it on one stop.
Yeah, I always like to believe that it's a 50% chance that they can make it, and 50% that they don't. But we're looking right now at Pete Broughton. He's back out there on that third spot, but definitely is gaining a lot on Gurgen de Meer. I'm not sure what his tactic was, but every time he comes out of the pit, he gains a second, which is really good for him on the moment. I do want to mention, maybe it's good to have a quick look while we're seeing Pete Broughton in the back, to look at the championship points. Let me have a look if I can bring that up. It would be awesome to see that. Because he's not only leading over here, but he's also leading in the championship. He has 286 points. Mike Bowers is 7 points behind him. And after that we have Carl Dronke. So I think that's one of the reasons why we see Carl taking it a lot easier. He has something up here to play for.
There you go. Just noting the YouTube comments there as well, just real quick. Scott Bell having equipment issues. So that was what we were showing earlier. But yeah. Pimo Braun.
I didn't know that from him.
Dronke.
I didn't know that from Scott Bell that he had some hands on that, but good to know.
So Pimo Braun, Carl Dronke, Mike Bowers, they're your top three.
Yeah, we see Jeff Safely and Carl Dronke now going into the pit, so we did expect them at one point to go in.
They were actually gaining time on Pete for the moment. So we will check out where they're going to come out. You can see the 515 car of Pete Braun. He's going to go into the last chicane here, 14, 15, work his way around the final turn here, turn 16. Keep your eyes on the 980, or I'm sorry, the 22 and the 38.
Jeff Snavely just stopped for his pit stop, and we see there in the back Pete Broughton coming by, but also in his things. Oh, Carl Dronke really fast away. Oh, this is going to be an interesting match if they can come up. They can't make it to Pete Broughton, but they have Gurgen de Meer and Jeffrey Decker. Oh, this is going to be Elias' last 8 minutes.
Well, and even a little further back here, you got Peter Nodwell passing JR Hoops. That's going to be for 13th position, so that's going to put Nodwell back where he started on the grid, and really trying to chase down Steve Dewar there, who's up 3 spots. Your biggest mover of the evening so far is Aaron Law. He's up 18 positions to your final top 10 spot. See if he can hold on to that. Really great run for Aaron Law this evening. Carl Dronke's up 7 spots in the final podium position, but
Yeah, I think with this score, everything to play for in Long Beach. And Pete knows what can happen in Long Beach. So I think we have everything to play for. Very interesting.
And that lap time discrepancy that we've seen with Leo is kind of closing down, although Ovcharov is now in 8th position, up 1 more spot from the last time we checked in with him, and no signs of slowing down, but I just don't know that he's going to have the time in the race to make it all back up. But either way, a real great run for him if he can hold on to that 8th position after serving the early race penalty. Just real dominant performance there.
No, definitely. And while we were talking, you were actually predicting it 10 minutes ago. Peter Lee has passed Jake Ashe and have a really interesting fight over here. It's nice to see that Peter has finally found someone where he can work together with, or at least fight with, because it looks like it's an interesting fight to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job there by Peter, and the gap to Rich Butler did not change much from when we saw where Jake was to him. So, Peter's got 4 minutes here to show that he can make up 5 seconds. That's a big ask, but keep your eye on that number 24, Peter Lee.
Yeah, and I don't want to say much, but Peter is no Leo, so that's going to be a little bit of a different intake. But we are looking here at the front with Pete Broughton and Jeff Snaley. Jeff Snaley is sitting on that back of Pete Broughton. And what do you need to do?
I don't know what in the world. How did that happen?
Oh, we were talking, and then SNS happens. That's a little bit how I experience races. But we see that Pete Broughton has to cover now every little different line.
Yeah, unless something crazy happens, I would say that this is the race for the win here between Pete and Jeff. We've got Carl Dronke 2.6 seconds back. That's a lot to ask. Speaking of gaps,
it's a lot to ask, and especially when you have Gurkan Demir who wants to show himself right over there, and I know he can be aggressive.
Exactly. Well, so you got Carl, Gurkan, Jeffrey, Michael McLeod all in a row right there, which is, if I'm those guys, I'm thinking, okay, this is the fight for third, honestly. But yeah, Pete O'Brien's got his hands full. He's got his mirrors. I'd say Jeff Snavely's looming large in his mirrors as Carl Dronke holds off Gurkan Demir, Jeffrey Decker, Michael McLeod, and this is going to be a really great battle as well for the final podium spot. So hold on to your butts. Peter Nodwell, Steve Dewar, and JR Hoops. This is a trio that we see battling a lot as well for 12th position. A lot of great battles. Oliver Hartley, Russ Ponberg, Rich Butler. I mean, we've just got a lot of great battles happening throughout the field here with only 2 minutes remaining in the race. I got to imagine here, was that?
What do you imagine? What do you imagine if you're Jeff Snavely and you have Pete Broughton in front of you, and you know that it's going to be the last lap, and you know he's not only fast, but he can also do a couple of really nice things. And we see Jeffrey Decker taking a spot from Gurkan Demir. He's going to push Carl, and they're all in for the championship. Carl Dronke needs to win that. Oh,
look at that!
Jeffrey Decker goes on that inside.
He's going to look to the outside. Inside,
yeah, and is Gurkan Demir gonna profit from that as well? Because he's getting really close.
Ooh, look at that! You could see the correction there, and Jeffrey Decker's steering to make sure that he stays well away from Carl Dronke.
Yeah, that's an important part, but Carl does take it over here on that inside. Look at that defending. And now we have Jeffrey Decker. Can he do the same thing?
Look at it. Yeah, you gotta squeeze him out there. You gotta hold your line until the very last second. That's great. Great defensive offensive, I guess I should say, driving, but Carl Dronke is going to come right back at him. Like, okay, two can play at this game.
Oh man, we should have seen this the whole race. Look at that. This is like the interesting fight. I do want to go a little bit up to the front because we are running in that last lap. Well, I think it's going to be the last lap, and we see Pete McBride.
I was going to say, I think we completely missed that, but Pete McBride and Jeff Snavely here, I mean, holy cow. Jeff kind of holding back. This obviously a little bit further back.
Well, holding back. Ooh.
Oh, Carl's going to cook it. Sorry, a little further back. So that's going to let Jeffrey Decker by. I think Carl was being super conservative there to...
All right, and we do see Pete Broughton coming over the finish line. Look at that, over the finish line. Second is Jeff Snavely. Jeffrey Decker takes the third position of Carl Dronke. Birkin Lemire fifth. And Leo Oktarov, eighth position. Look at that. From the back, from the front to the back to the front. Nearly done it on a perfect base.
Unreal.
Mike Bowers, really good in the championship, is on the 11th position. Losing quite a bit of points to Pete. So it's all gonna happen in Long Beach.
Yeah. That's race. I love it when it comes down to the last race and it's for all the marbles.
It's going to be so exciting. I might jump into the Formula 2 race, or at least I want to give it a try. I haven't tried a long time in that race, but I love Long Beach, but I also know how dangerous it is. So yeah.
Yeah, it's you got the wall. Any street course, really, of course, it's going to feel a little claustrophobic. But I'll tell you what, the fountain and then the last hairpin there, for some reason in Long Beach, just feels extra special in a interesting way. I don't want to say bad way. I love it. I love that track, but yeah, it gets a little crazy. No,
definitely. It's an interesting track. And at first I really hated it, but I won in my first Formula 2 race, and I think that helped me to bring a little bit more positive about it. But man, this was an exciting race. We've seen quite a lot. Let's have a quick look at the results, because they've just come in. That's the thing when you have 33 cars on the track. It's always a little bit difficult to get the complete grid in. Let's have a quick look if we can see the results coming in. Yes, we see Pete Broughton on the first position. Jeff Snavely on the second position, and Jeffrey Decker, really surprised on that last moment. He really overtook Carl Dronke, and Carl had to take the fourth position. But everything to play for in the championship. I think Carl needs to push it a little bit more on Long Beach, but yeah, anything can happen, as you said. We have Gurkan Demir on position number 5th. Really nice, nicely done. And what about Michael McLeod on position number 6? Really good way of him racing over here. I see Ray Bartnikowski on 17th position.
Yeah, he was up 12 spots into 17th. Oliver Hartley was up 9 spots after a great SF2 race. Once again, Aaron Law, the top gainer for the night, up 19 positions, finishing in the top 10 there in 9th. Really happy for him. Great showing. I'm sure he's thrilled. Other big movers, Dan Pagowski was up 5 spots total for that 28th position. So I'm sure there's a lot of heartbreak, but also a lot of celebration that'll be happening tonight. And I'm blown away by this track and this configuration for the Skippy. I don't think that everybody's going to agree with me, but it was a lot of fun to watch. So
it was a lot of fun to watch.
That's all I care about.
No, I do have to say that's one of the most important things. What we do here at CAV-OK is having fun, and that's why it's a fun to do this. I really thought it was fun that we had a radio version of this broadcast.
Yeah, a little bit of, you got the television, you got the radio. people got a taste of everything tonight. So.
Yeah. So what's next? What are we gonna do next? That's gonna be interesting to see. But let's talk a little bit to our race winner. We have him here in the booth, Pete Mulbroughen, again a winning spot. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very thankful.
A little bit
Hey,
confused.
Yeah, I kind of expected to get reeled in, and there was early days and some of the early laps. I don't know what happened. I heard tires squealing and then people dropping off, and then I was, the rest of the race was watching the fuel intervals and trying to do 73 variations on calculus, and I had no idea who was going to come out in that front pack until well after I went in for my second pit stop, and it ended up being Snavely wasn't even on my radar. I'm like, okay, like I guess it's Snavely then. So yeah, I honestly was just taking it lap by lap, and I didn't really expect to pull that out. I expected to get jumped in the pits both times, so I'm confused how that didn't happen, but very thankful.
Well, I think that just goes to show you sometimes the best thing you can do is focus on your race and keep your eyes forward. And some people like you obviously have the extra gray matter to think about all those other things. But, I think there's a lot of fledgling racers out there. Great lesson learned. Go out there, do your best laps, focus on what you got to do, execute, and you'll come out on top. So really great race there by you, Pete. And there just wasn't. I gotta just say that, like, usually I can pinpoint exactly what it was. Like, oh, that's what you did different, and that's why you won the race. I don't know, to your point, that I can pick anything specific out other than just execution and no slip ups and keeping your eyes forward. I wish I had some third person view that I could what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know which word. I don't know which word you're looking for.
Third person perspective that I could offer you, but no, it was a great race overall.
But Peter, I do have a question about the pit stops, because every time you came out, you gained like a second on the rest of the pack, and I don't exactly know where that was. Can you explain that to us, or?
No, I can't. I was streaming tonight and kind of narrating my thought process too, and I fully expected to get jumped because I was running in clean air. I saw McLeod was tucked in behind Gherkin for so many laps, so I expected him to maybe try a short fuel and leapfrog up to me, and he ended up falling back. And then all of a sudden I saw Decker and Dronky ahead, and I'm like, well, they know the score, so they're probably fuel saving, so I expected them to come out, because again, I had no draft at all, and I knew my pace wasn't I think everyone had a really, really similar pace, so I knew there wasn't any gifts that were going to happen there. I honestly, I don't know. That's kind of the confusing part. I don't feel like I had any, particular advantage this week, and I'm honestly not entirely sure how I didn't get caught in the fuel stops around pace.
Well, it's I don't know. I don't really care about it. You won, and that was a nice drive. You were talking about Michael McLeod. We also have him in the booth. Michael McLeod, great to have you over here. Can you tell a little bit about your top 10 position? If you're unmuted. Oh,
is that me?
No, that means he can't do that right now. So let's see. We also have Ray Bartnikowski in our track. Had a difficult race, I think. Was in that mid pack. Ray, how did the race go for you?
I had so much fun tonight. You don't even know. I didn't
right.
qualify and set a time. I started way in the back and made my way up to 17. I was working with Kyle Reed best as I could for most of the race, and yeah, we had a great time.
Well, that's great. Great to hear that. We didn't see you that much in the track, but most of the times that's a good sign. No big crashes, and you continued quite well through this track. Have you any thoughts about next race, Long Beach?
I'm going to be out. Probably. It's a holiday weekend, and I'm traveling back home. I might be back Sunday evening in time for the race, but we'll see. But Long Beach was a good time last year. I'm looking forward to that again if I can make it back.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what Pete thinks about that. But before we ask him, I do want to invite our Jeffrey Decker in the booth. I think you've seen many different aspects of the race. You came in really early. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah. No, I started out P2, felt pretty good about that. Leah's just, ridiculous as always. And then a little bit of position exchanges and was following Pete a couple laps in, just trying to conserve a little bit of fuel, and actually got hit from behind heading into the chicane. So had to kind of recover from there. I came in pitting early, not knowing if I had any damage or not at that point. So kind of threw off my pit strategy a little bit. But yeah, from then it was just pushing as much as I could and just hoping to recover as many positions as possible. So coming home P3 after ending up facing backwards, and then having to actually clear a slowdown after that, heading into the pits, it felt pretty good.
So how was that for that last lap where you were fighting with Carl Drunke? Because that looked very exciting.
Yeah, really good. I was very determined once I was within range of a podium to get that podium. So yeah, no, it was good side-by-side action, some nice fighting. Heading into the chicane side by side is always an experience, but I kind of found this week that if you head in with the inside line, you end up just like breaking overlap with the guy on the outside, and you can kind of take the second apex. So that's what ended up happening, and it kind of worked out on exit that I just had enough space to kind of head out and pull ahead.
No, awesome. Looked very good. Was a nice race. Nice track. I asked everybody, what are you going to think about next week, Long Beach? Any thoughts?
Mixed feelings there. I'll be sad to see it going off the calendar. So from that regard, sad to be going there because it's the last time we'll go there in a while. But at the same time, I love racing Long Beach. It's super fun. It was a great way to close out the season, the last couple of seasons. So I'm looking forward to it again.
Yeah, so then let's go back to our race winner and current championship leader, Pete Broughton. What is your thought about our Long Beach?
The good news is that I'm set up for improvement from last season. Basically, no matter what happens, it's good. It's better than it was last time around. So I'm just going to go with that. Go in with that positive energy that it couldn't possibly be any worse.
Oh no!
But as a track to drive, though, it is a fun track when you can find that flow. And I think the fact that people have so much more time on it now, because with new tracks and the iRacing service, when they introduce them, they want to showcase them. So they're running them every series, every car. So people are more familiar with the flow, the trickier corners, what the traffic patterns look like. So, all kidding aside, I am much more optimistic this season that we're going to see a really great race. And the flow really does work well in Skippy, when the traffic is, kind of aware of the danger zones and knows how to work around each other. So it should be a good week.
No, it should be good, and you also build up quite a bit of a lead right now here. Not enough to not race, but you don't have to win over there. And you also have Leo Oktarov still coming in, so that's going to be an interesting mix in that. Well, it's good to have you all in the booth. Chris, it was great to have you back in the booth.
This was a lot of fun, guys. Awesome race.
Cheers, man. Yeah, it was a fun one to drive.
Well, and the racing that was presented, I think, was really good. I just wanted to say real quick, Ray, man, up 12 spots. Not quite the biggest gainer of the night, but that's got to feel real good for you. And then, just for Decker, man, we saw you get turned around there to be able to recover that, maintain your composure. Looks like you made the decision to come down pit road that lap and try to make the most of it, make lemonade out of lemons, et cetera, et cetera. Just really great racing by all of you guys. And then Pete, once again, man, I wish I could pinpoint for you what you did, but I mean, you're just at this point. Maybe we got to call you the GOAT.
Yeah, I got to sneak it in this season because I have a hunch we're gonna have some issues with Leo next season, man. That guy is off the chain.
Well,
I was looking at his average pace
I didn't want to.
in practice was 2 times faster than the world record in draft, and he's running that on his quali times. I'm like, that's illegal. So next season, I think we all know who's the target.
Yeah, his lap times were just off the charts based on what I was showing. Obviously, the early race having to serve the penalty and all that, but I think that he's going to give everybody a run for his money. I hope that he can keep it clean and really just show everybody just what he's got, because clearly this guy can drive a Skippy.
Listen, as long as Pete doesn't win another championship next season, I'm happy with it.
And I just want one of those Swank trophies, man. I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my trophy sitting right here, Pete. So yeah. I suspect
All right,
you have one
rub it
coming.
in, Jeffrey. Rub it in. That's a nice way. But what do you guys think about Jeff Snavely? Second position. He's just been here for how many races? That's going to be an interesting one for the next season.
Yeah, Snavely is someone who I run into in pubs a lot. He's always a lot of fun to race. So I was super happy to see him pop into Sunday Night Skippy. I think he's a great addition to the front of the field for sure.
Yeah, same here. I've been running with Snavely for a year or two now. Always have really good runs with him. And I think as he starts to find a little bit more aggression and figuring out when to turn that on, he's going to be a force. Definitely has the pace.
No, definitely. And then, of course, I do want to mention Oliver Hartley. Was a long time back since we've seen him. And he was nearly leading for one lap. Didn't make it because he went into the pits. But great to have him back as well. Yeah, new people, old people. We're going to have a new season coming up. But not before we finish up in Long Beach. Which I'm going to be very excited about that.
Yeah, it's almost like this is like a really talented league of people. It's weird.
Weird, yeah. Strange. I cannot wait for Long Beach. I think that, to Pete's point, with everybody having a little bit more experience under their belts, in addition to the fact that we've got a lot of fast drivers here, I think we're going to look back at our first run there and kind of laugh about it. I hope, at least a little bit. Maybe not all of us, but yeah, that one was kind of a mess. But I think that I'm looking really forward to this particular race next week because there's a lot on the line, and I think that with Pim's camera skills, we're gonna have a lot of great views to go along with it, with a beautiful track. And
well, Chris, if we don't have my camera skills, we know that you can do the radio voice.
That's right. Yeah, I'll just describe the fountain to everybody, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, Chris, if you want to end it, it's great to have you back up here, and looking forward to work with you more on these tracks. Last words for you.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to to you, man. Honestly, been a real busy month, at least for me, and just Pim especially, but also Peter and Jake, Ian, just really kind of holding down the fort and bringing the whole Cav-OK, broadcast just to a whole nother level, and just the energy that you bring to it, the ideas that y'all are bringing to it, is really kind of re-energizing the whole thing for me personally too. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully having a little bit more time going into the fall and applying that new energy that you guys are giving me, and seeing what we can do with the broadcast, bring some new stuff to it. So just wanted to take this opportunity to say thanks specifically to you. Great job on all the drivers' parts. Thank you guys for joining us in the interview booth. Really pleased to have you, and I hope we can finish out this season really strong, and next season is going to be even better, I think.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Thanks for giving me these opportunities because it's so difficult to do this right, and I love to work with you. So awesome. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next Sunday. Sunday morning, the BRL Premier Cup League. It's going to be, that's a bye week. No, we're going to be on Sunday in the Skippy. That's going to be our first broadcast. I want to thank everybody and see you next time.